All right, let's see what Morning Joe has to say
about the university is important enough that maybe we could bring this university to a halt and really reorder its priorities. But at the moment, it doesn't seem that this is possible at all. We may halt classes for a few days. We may even halt it for a spring. But ultimately, we don't change the foundation of this university, which is essentially an enormous business corporation.
That was a Columbia University student speaking to NBC News in 1968 about ongoing protests at the school in opposition to the Vietnam War.
Wait, why are they showing that? This goes against their prevailing narrative that, like, what? Are they just going to be like, he was right, he was base, she was base back then, and she fucking hates the Palestinians now or something? Like, what?
Say it makes as much sense in 2024 having 18 or 19-year-old people running college campuses as it did in 1968, which is to say, doesn't make any sense at all. And you.
Oh, wait, what, bro? Yo, this is the liberal programming. Okay, I did not expect that. Yo, I did not expect Morning Joe to come out in support of continuing the Vietnam War. Damn, liberals are fucking losing the plot, dude. Liberals have lost it. They're like, yeah, actually, everything that we previously taught in schools is like kind of a big no-no, kind of a fuck up, actually is good. It was always good. That's awesome. They're fucking deranged, dude. This is the peak of liberal commentary in this country. That's where we've gotten to. Hey, actually, we reflected on all of our wrongdoings of the past and realized that, like, maybe it's good. We should carpet bomb Laos now, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
You do wonder where the adults are, the adults that are supposed to be running the university, the amount of money
that's your takeaway from this? Oh my God.
They are paid to educate students, and they can't allow students to go to class because a small subset of those students and outside agitators want to shut down the camp. Where are the adults? It's staggering. Not just to me. I know I'm a conservative. Not just to me, but to 90% of Americans. They want to know where the adults are at Columbia. They want to know where the adults are at Penn. They want to know where the adults are at Harvard. They want to know where the adults are at all of these college campuses where they're letting their students and outside agitators run across the campus, shut down debate, scream whenever anybody tries to talk reason to them, shout genocidal chants, hold up signs pointing to Jews saying Hamas's next victims, holding up signs talking about the final solution.
No, it's fucking bullshit. You're hallucinating at this point.
Chanting constantly from the river to the sea. You know what from the river to the sea is?
Oh my God, I hate him. Dude, remember when his father-in-law, who is a reactionary piece of shit himself, actually had to fucking school him personally on his own program many years prior about his fucking idiocy, demonstrating his idiotic understanding of the so-called peace negotiations between Israel and Palestinians? Literally, his own fucking father-in-law dunked on him and was like, you're an idiot. Here, let's watch.
You can't blame what is happening in Israel.
Here is Zbigniew Brzezinski, okay? Mika Brzezinski's dad, okay? Who is the architect of the original Afghan civil war, who literally flexed about how awesome it was that they armed the Mujahideen and radicalized them, hoping that the USSR go in and try to fucking fight against that, allowing them to have their own version of Vietnam, which was the open goal of the administration that he was a part of. This is before Ronald Reagan, okay? Here is that fucking reactionary piece of shit going, you're an idiot. You're a fucking dumbass. I can't believe my daughter wants to fuck you and will inevitably marry you.
Israel right now on the Bush administration.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Well, look, Joe.
Let's go back to 2000, Dr. Brzezinski. You and I both know Bill Clinton gave Arafat and the Palestinians everything they could have wanted.
Such a stunningly superficial knowledge of what went on that it's almost embarrassing to listen to you.
Oh, is it?
If you were to...
You have a stunningly superficial knowledge of what is going on.
Went on that it's almost embarrassing to listen to you.
Oh, is it?
If you were to look more closely at what happened in the Clinton Camp David discussions, you would know that what you have just said is absolutely wrong. There were all sorts of provisions and catches to the so-called proposal, and it wasn't rejected. The negotiations went on in Taba, and then there were elections in Israel, and Sharon came in, and everything got aborted. In the last 8 years, we had a policy in which we have proclaimed an interest in peace. Condi Rice has traveled 16 times in 21 months to the region, proclaiming, you must do this, you must do that, but the United States never exerted itself. So the issue that Obama faces, and that's a question that you raised, is, are we going to be sitting there issuing condemnations, whether it's of Hamas or of Israel or anybody else, or are we going to be seriously engaged in the peace process? That is the question.
We have another block, and I'm very excited about that because I'm stunningly superficial. Chief, I look forward to you educating me and the rest of America. Hold on, the rest of America and the rest of the foreign policy community who have said time and again Arafat walked away from the best deal he could have got, and that the Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity.
You're repeating slogans. You're repeating slogans. He did not walk away. What he said was, I'm going to take the proposal to all of the Arab capitals and see how they react, because the proposals were controversial. And then negotiations went on.
Yep. Smoking on them.
Even after Christmas, where Clinton and Arafat met, and they were going on in Taba in January, after Clinton was already leaving office, and then the process got aborted. It's helpful to know a little bit about it.
It's very exciting, Chief, that you...
Yeah, look at him fucking being like, it's very exciting, Chief. It's like, yeah, dude. Yeah, he knows more than you. You're a fucking idiot. It's not like he's a good dude, okay? He is also a reactionary piece of shit.
Know things that the rest of the international community doesn't know.
If you're going to judge your knowledge by the sort of collective standards of 300 million people, then don't be surprised that you're embarrassed.
Smoked them. Where are the adults? Yeah, many years later, now that they're fucking married to one another, remember, Zbigniew Brzezinski, I can't say his fucking name, I'm sorry, is Mika's dad. He died. I'm pretty sure he's dead now. He's old as fuck even back then. Zbigniew Brzezinski, who played a very important role in radicalizing and activating Islamist fundamentalists in Afghanistan in a deliberate attempt to bring the USSR into Afghanistan to have their own version of Vietnam, to turn Afghanistan into the USSR's Vietnam. Over here schooling this fucking dipshit.
If you don't, that's all right. Most of the students chanting it don't understand that they are chanting genocidal comments.
All right, joining us now.
They want to wipe out all Jews, and they want to destroy.
Even his wife's like, all right, come on, just move on. Move on, Joe, you fucking idiot.
The state of Israel, and they want to kill Jews and push them. See, they are Hamas on college campuses when they chant that.
Some of them may not even know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point.
Bro, you don't know what you're doing. That's why you're in this position. These people saying like these students don't know what they're doing is so fucking hilarious. You are objectively a stupid person. That is precisely the reason why you have a cushy job in mainstream media. even if you know better, then you're an evil person, and voluntarily misinforming everyone that is listening to you, including, unfortunately, Joe fucking Biden, who apparently loves watching Morning Joe.
But the adults there do.
Yes, they do.
And yet, this, by the way, this is a long time coming. This has been coming since the 1960s. And now the people that were burning down college campuses, the people that were taking over presidents' offices, those people are now on the faculty senate, in the faculty senate, trying to encourage these students to do.
Yeah, they were right. They were on the right side of history, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about? America's genocidal actions in Vietnam were objectively in the wrong. I thought that we had already discussed and deliberated on this endlessly, and now we have the benefit of hindsight. What is going on right now? I feel like in real time, they're trying to rewrite history. They're like, no, it was actually fire. Bro, Vietnam was so bad that, like, we've moved on from Vietnam and we talk about Afghanistan like it was Vietnam, which it was in many respects. What the fuck?
Do the same. They helped elect it. They helped elect Nixon. They I guess they want to elect Donald.
You only do this if you do not have anything to say to the very reasonable demands being made by the student protesters. You can't address the issue head on. You can't tackle it because it looks bad, because you do not have a leg to stand on. You can't maintain a liberal facade as though you are still in support of, like, emancipation for all people, the ideas that the first principles that, like, people fundamentally have a right to live freely, right? Because liberals believe that on paper. The thing is, if you believe those values, then obviously what Israel is doing as an apartheid regime, conducting an ethnic cleansing campaign upon a captive population that it is basically fucking, enchained, left in chains for decades, is going to be very hard. You can't make that argument. And these students are saying that. They are correct. They're right. They're on the right side of history. They're morally correct. They're morally correct from a liberal perspective as well. They don't have to be like socialist radicals. You know what I mean? And that is precisely the reason why they can never address that. And because they can't address that, they have to deflect the attention away. They have to talk about, like, how young they are and how silly these guys are. They're young and silly. They're young and silly. They're, see, a student held up a sign. I'm voting for Biden to make sure what's going on doesn't happen. Exactly. Lawful protesting isn't even possible in authoritarian societies like the one Trump wants to transform America into. Just saying. It's like, yeah, it sure would be terrifying if there was another Trump administration, another Trump regime, where lawful protests were being brutally and violently suppressed by a fucking militant police force filled to the brims with steroid-addled fucks. It sure would be terrifying if that happened. Good thing Biden is protecting the students. Oh, wait, he's not doing that. Yeah, it sure would be awful if the police were fucking violently apprehending students, the teachers, faculty, journalists. They've done it all under the watchful eye of the Brandon regime. Here's what the students are actually saying, by the way, which you can hear from as well. Anyway, here.
Updates from day 6 of the Harvard out of occupied Palestine Liberation Zone. Today, administration sent out emails letting us know that we would face discipline for continuing our encampment. So we had a message for them, and I'm about to read this out to you. Day 204 of the genocide. 34,454 murdered to date. There are no remaining universities in Gaza. The genocide of Palestinians is far more disruptive to education than anything Harvard students have done. But about this violence, the university is completely silent. In fact, the university remains materially invested in the occupation and genocide. Repeated violations of our moral duty to liberation will result in increased disruption. Universities that remain complicit in genocide may not be granted peace. I also want to show y'all our Rafat Al-Rir Memorial Library. As you can see, political education is one of the main goals of our encampment, and as such, we're compiling a lot of literature related to Palestinian liberation. I also want to show y'all our Liberation Garden. Palestine is an environmental issue, it's a human issue, it's a coloniality issue, and I think that's what we're trying to represent here with our encampment. Also, to the people who have been commenting vile transphobic things and sending me death threats, I don't care. I'm still gonna be here. The biggest threat to queer Palestinians right now is the IDF and the bombs. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you don't actually care about queer safety. You just want to justify genocide.
Yup. People love doing the queers for Palestine. Hamas will kill you. It's like, dude, you think Israeli weapons or you think American weapons are like, oh, that's a fucking gay Palestinian. We won't actually laser their whole family. It doesn't work that way. Imperialist subjugation makes it harder for those who are under the oppressive thumb of said imperialist subjugation to actually fight for civil rights and civil liberties. There's a much greater evil that they have to deal with. It's so stupid. Yeah. Also, as you brought it up before, Israel has a long history of blackmailing gay Palestinians into reporting on others. Yes. Here's some wonderful imagery coming out of Tokyo. Students in Tokyo resist riot police as they chant "No more war, free Palestine, and workers unite." You fucking love to see it, baby. Woo! Rare Japan W. I mean, Japan is a very interesting country, obviously, because they've suffered a horrific injustice in the form of, nuclear bombs, while simultaneously the Japanese government, since its inception, has, one, had its constitution written by the United States, and two, has been a servile dog to the American interests in the region. Having said that, however, there are obviously still Japanese people who think that that is unacceptable. I met some Japanese students at labor notes. They are trying their best, man. Whoa, that's sick. They had Japanese students at labor notes? Palestine Solidarity Camp begins at the University of Tokyo. Started the Palestine Solidarity Camp at University of Tokyo. Direct action for the liberation of Palestine has begun at several campuses, including Columbia University. Israel's destroyed all universities in Gaza. We are starting a camp in solidarity with all the people fighting for the liberation of Palestine. Many universities have started direct action towards free Palestine following the steps of the Columbia universities. Great. Yeah, one of the world's most powerful anti-Semites calling the left anti-Semitic. The young on the left are obviously... The young on the left are obviously already openly anti-Semitic. As they grow in seniority, this will become the entire left. Hey, Elon, do you know who tweeted this anti-Semitism back in November? Some guy named Musk. Okay, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit now about Western Jewish populations, coming to the disturbing reality that, like, you know, this guy who, he was talking about how, like, Jews do open borders in the West and bring black and brown people into this country to destroy it. And now they're complaining about those very same black and brown barbarians shitting on the Jews. That's what he was saying, because he's a fucking Nazi. And of course, here's another Nazi saying, you have said the actual truth. 37,000 likes, by the way. It's wonderful stuff. How do you keep motivated to fight? Cops have crushed any and all efforts to start encampments in Phoenix. Wait, what do you mean? This is one of the most hopeful moments for Palestinian emancipation. Hamas. Like, in the history, in contemporary American history, there's never been such hope. This is the peak. You are staring at the most amount of support Palestinians have ever gotten in the Western world, across the board. This literally should motivate you to keep up the pressure campaign.